So we did a mock draft last time, and I deleted the video. However, we're going to do this mock draft, and this mock draft is going to stay up because this one is a more accurate mock draft too. And I don't know if they updated this. Mind you, I turn the music off right now, but I don't know if they updated this or not. However, okay. Doing this specific. So slow it down a little. Here we go. Anyways, mock draft 2023, YouTube, doing it live on Twitch, but for YouTube. The one we had, my mic sucked, but also a lot of changes happened. So now we're gonna do another one, but for the final one, I don't care if any changes happen. We're just gonna roll with it because this mock draft is probably the craziest that it's ever been. The history of mock drafts, because there's a lot of, and even according to people that do mock drafts for like a living and shit, like on CBS and all those other fucking Pro Football Focus, all that shit. This one, according to everybody, is a fucking toss-up, and I mean, registering on the mic. This is a toss-up. All right, so this one's a big one. So we're gonna have a all of a time on this. I don't know if the order changed on the website, but we're gonna do it anyways. We're gonna do a completely new mock draft, 2023. As crazy as it is, I'm gonna try to be just as crazy, if not crazier, than crazy, because this one's a really wild one. But for the most part, I'm gonna keep to like my mentality of what I think is gonna happen, because as much as I want things to happen, I'll probably explain a little bit too what I think is best fit, but I'm gonna tell you what they're looking at too. So anyways, let's see if the orders changed though. Oh, they did change it, so it's updated now, so it's accurate. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Picking the teams for me. No, 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 no. Redo. There we go. Okay. So mock draft 2023. Again, I've done a lot of research on this. A lot of team needs. I'm going to pull up the page too before I do start this. A lot of team needs. But also, since this is a video for YouTube, sorry for hearing that as my Twitch in background for a split second. I do want to mention that I haven't uploaded in YouTube in a while, minus the video that I deleted. And starting in May, with social media and everything, I'm going to be taking a big fucking giant leap in quality of my fucking content and uploading and everything, including shorts and all that. I'm gonna be working on a whole lot of shit. I'm gonna be a busy fucking guy. It's gonna be stressful, but I'm gonna try to do this all by myself. If I can't, then I'm definitely gonna go the route of hiring somebody, but I'm gonna try my best because there's a lot of content I'm sitting on that needs to be uploaded, and I need to get some recognition, get some growth. I'm not doing a good job just live streaming and chilling. You know what I mean? I need to do some growth, so that's the big thing. But if you're a big fan of football, what's going on, Nova Nicky? Welcome to the stream, but this is for YouTube, obviously. Anyways, so we're gonna be doing this mock draft real quick, and then obviously we're gonna get to the gaming part for the live stream. But what I do want to mention is, if you guys that on YouTube that see this video, if you guys like football stuff, please comment in the comment section your football team who you think is gonna be drafted, or if you watch this after the draft, then maybe if I was right, whatever. But you know, come follow this channel. If you like gaming content, go look at my other content. Look at my live streams. It's fucking awesome. It means the world. Thank you. I see what you're doing, Nikki, but again, this one's for YouTube, so we'll comment on that after this video. So I will talk to you about that after. But yeah, we got some content tonight. It's gonna be fun. So let me just look this up on my phone real quick of the needs for teams, just to verify, because I did this last time just to see what they need, like, because they give you a multiple amount of what they need, and I could kind of judge for myself based off of if they do really need that level of need or not. So let me know too if my mic's sounding good, because the mic issues is the real reason I deleted that video. So anyways, no editing for this one. I want to edit, but it's a little outdated. Which is fine, because it's just slightly different now. But anyways, everything is perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you. So anyways, like I said, this one's mock draft 2023 NFL. We're only about technically now 2 days away So this one's crazy. This one's gonna be uploaded tonight. This is a crazy one. But anyways, I already have an idea of what's gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but again, the NFL draft is very, very wild, and it's gonna be a fun time trying to figure this out. So, anyways, once again, please follow, like, and subscribe. Truly means the world to me for YouTube, and then obviously Twitch, if you gaming content, football. We can have a big conversation about that live on stream when I'm live, or in the comment section of my YouTube videos. Yeah, let's get into it. So right off the bat, damn it, wrong one. It's okay. We do this often. There you go. All right. So we have first round only, because I'm not doing a 7-round mock draft. That's way too difficult to do. As much as fun as it would be, that's just impossible to pull off. We're gonna do 1 round, and I'm gonna try to get as much in-depth detail as possible. But I'm gonna try to like really pinpoint where I think they're gonna go with a little bit of research as we're doing. So it's gonna be pretty fun. So anyways, Carolina Panthers, pick number 1. I'm gonna just say right now, there's speculation, even in the Vegas, gambling odds or whatever, there is speculation that Will Levis is the choice for the Carolina Panthers. And people are biting it. I disagree. I think it's Bryce. I still think that people are biting on this whole thing with Will Levis. Will Levis is a very, very good quarterback come out of the draft, but he's not Bryce Young. And the only reason I think Bryce Young's the most technical option is because you're in a division that's ready to go now. You need just 1-star player a little bit, to be a contender in that division. You know what I mean? So you kind of just need to get somebody that can play right away. You got Andy Dalton as a backup, and he could be solid depending on system or whatever, but you need to really delve onto that. A title run, if you can, for at least the division title. So I think Carolina Panthers probably be the closest bet in that division if they get Bryce Young. If they get Will Levis, it's a toss-up. You don't know what you're getting with Will Levis guaranteed for sure. Now, Houston Texans are up on the clock. I don't think Houston wants a quarterback at pick 2. Unless they view Will Levis as much as people are rumoring that the Panthers are viewing Will Levis as, or that he is the pick or whatever. I don't bite on it. Also, CJ Stroud is dropping. I don't see him being the number 2 pick. I personally think, knowing DeMeco Ryans, there's only 2 options for this pick now, and people are leaning more towards another pick than this pick. But there's Will Anderson, and then there's Tyree Wilson. So there's between these 2 players that they're really looking at right now, and I truly think their most pushing need would be edge. So in my opinion, Tyree Wilson's a safe pick edge, but Will Anderson is just a better edge. It's who they're viewing more as, per se. And now, if we know the Texans the way they pick, they like to pick wild cards for the most part. They'll go, I want this pick, but then I'm going to choose somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, they show interest in one person, but they go the other way. I think that right there is Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson will be pick 2. I don't see Tyree Wilson being that above him in terms of interest from the Texans. So, Arizona Cardinals pick 3. People have been speculating day in and day out that the Arizona Cardinals are trading this pick. I just don't see who would trade up to this pick and not have the Cardinals kind of take a hit. You know what I mean? So, my only thing is they need defense, right? Right now it's saying their defensive line and edge. You lost J.J. Watt. Kyler Murray was praising for Paris Johnson, a tackle. So unless you're building that offense around Kyler Murray, and you're really, actually, should I say building that team around the offense and then building around Kyler Murray, then maybe I could see them going for a tackle. But tackle is not the most pressing need. They did sign Kelvin Beachum. They got Will Hernandez. So pretty solid pickups there. Really hard to say. I'm gonna take my earbuds out for this because Nightbow's not even talking. Totally wasted my time. I sat here and talked, and now you muted me. What a dick. Anyways, I'm gonna go off the bench. You got Paris Johnson. If he's talking with the GMs, excuse me. If he's talking with the GMs, and the GMs are listening, then I could see it being Paris Johnson. I don't see a team trading up past the Colts for a quarterback. Unless it's the Titans, but the Titans have to offer the farm and Cardinals have to not value somebody. I think the Cardinals have a lot of value here that they want to pick up. There's not really much they're seeing past it, my personal opinion. So Jalen Carter's on the board. They do definitely need defensive linemen. And technically, he's a stout defensive lineman. Probably the best player in the draft, period, skill-wise, if he didn't have those off-the-field issues. So I'm going to go out on a whim and say that they're kind of worried about the offense. I mean, the off-the-field issues because of that one situation. I think they're going to go Tyree Wilson edge because I think they want to strengthen up past what happened with J.J. Watt, and they need a player to have backup for that. So I'm going to go with Tyree Wilson. Nobody bites on that, per se, that off the field issues. They're not. And I don't think that they go for offensive. Maybe, possibly they can trade up or even get some value in the league. I think that Kyler Murray doesn't give them the whole reason, getting him enough to where they jump on. They're going to go based off of what they're really pressing need. They're losing players on that. So, Colts. Now, Colts is the biggest wild card here because they were saying CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson could be off the board in the Colts offense, but Colts really need a player. You know, in that division, unless they're waiting another year, they need a quarterback now. CJ Stroud is still on the board. Will Levis is still on the board. I don't know how they view Will Levis. I definitely don't think now that they're viewing CJ Stroud as much, especially if Will Levis is there. I think Will Levis's stock rised a bit because of this whole rumor. Panthers. So if Will Levis is there, they're probably going to wonder why had that from the get-go. Colts ain't trading with the Titans for any reason at all, because that's what I think the only situation where they trade up is Titans won. I also think that the Titans might not trade for a quarterback early because I think they still riding on Malik Willis. He was a first-round rated talent coming into the draft, then they picked him up in the third and cleared time to develop. I don't think they're really selling out on Malik Willis last year's draft. So, personally, I think they might still go quarterback for the shock value for the Colts. But I think it's not going to be Anthony Richardson. I think it's going to be Will Levis. And the reason why I think it's going to be Will Levis is because, again, you're in a division where kind of if Will Levis balls out, going to be, like, or not balls out, but if he's a decent quarterback, you have a contention going on there in that division. Remember, you have the Jaguars with fucking Trevor Lawrence. You got fucking the Titans are not going to really have a quarterback besides Ryan Tannehill, and who knows how he's going to perform this year. And then you got fucking I can't even think of the other right now. The Texans. The Texans are not ready at all. So, like, technically, there is a chance you could win the division. If you get Will Levis, you have more of a chance to win now. But you just never know. So, I think Will Levis was the safest pick for them as a quarterback, and they need a quarterback. I think and it's a pretty good fit, too, personally. Seattle. Now, Seattle could very much, they lost the option on Tyree Wilson. I think they're kind of banking on Tyree Wilson a little bit. They do need edge still, but the next best edge would be Myles Murphy. Well, I guess it depends on your choice. Everyone's saying Lucas Van Ness is better. A lot of people have these players really rated weird. Even in here, you could see that they have, Myles Murphy rated higher, and that's kind of weird to say. But if we're talking edge, you can see Nolan Smith even rated higher. Lucas Van Ness is kind of rated down more. Kind of weird to see that, but I'm gonna go not based off this, but based off of what I believe is the better player and what I think everyone's viewing them as, and obviously the fit too. So if I had to say Seattle here, is there somebody that's gonna trade up for a player? The only thing I could see somebody trading up for is the Titans, and it's the Seahawks. So the Seahawks will get some value back, but the Seahawks already have, I think, 2, right? Yeah, they already have 2 picks. So do they really keep going for more picks? I don't see the Bears needing a quarterback, obviously. I don't see I don't really see any other team pushing for a CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson. I just don't see any team. They're going to fall a bit. At least from first glance. I mean, you got the Lions got 2 picks too. They could shop their pick as well. Jalen Carter's still on the board. That's best available, but you got to remember too, they signed Draymond Jones and Jaron Reed. So, are they really viewing edge that bad? Safety, they could get in the later round, or they can attempt to get in the later round. Linebacker ain't nothing worth it. It would have to be defensive lineman here. So if they really wanted to get a stout defensive lineman, I guess you could say that they bite the bullet on Jalen Carter, because you get a stud if you do. But I don't know. I feel like they shopped this. Question is with who though? Because they got it from the Broncos. It's a top 5 pick. I don't see Anthony Richardson being a top 5 pick. I don't see Cox worried about Anthony. I mean, Stroud could technically sit behind, Smith, develop and learn. Do they view CJ Stroud like that? I think CJ Stroud drops. I'm gonna say they get Jalen Carter. I'm gonna say that they just go best available, and they're gonna take the gamble on him because he is the best available player, and you don't just skip out on that, especially if he drops down. I think they're gonna just take the Lions at pick 6. Now's the time to shop, and the Lions could shop because they could get way more value. They got pick 18 as well, but they could either get a top 6 player, or they could shop, or they could get CJ Stroud. Ooh. Second thought, I could see them getting CJ Stroud and then hit behind Jared Goff, because he's technically like a young Jared Goff in terms of the way he plays. Interesting to think about that. This is why we do this, so this could be a long video. It's fine because there's fun in it. But I'll tell you right now, Lions shopping for a quarterback at 6. When they kind of need, what is their needs right now? That's their least of their needs, is a quarterback. So they would have to really be thinking about, we really want this as the future. CJ Stroud just seems like too much of a reach at 6. I think he's dropping off the boards. I think there's a lot of situations Stroud, and he's it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. They do need a corner. Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon are on the board. If they drop down just a bit, they probably will still have one of them there. The Falcons need... Actually, let's start with the Raiders. The Raiders need offensive tackle, offensive guard center. They need O-line all day. They signed Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Myers. They're probably going to build around that offense. The offense. Falcons need a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. I don't know why it says that. They're sticking with Desmond Ridder. They need edge linebacker. So technically you could lose Miles Murphy, Nolan Smith, Lucas Van Ness. You could lose one of them. They also need corner 2. They signed Jesse Bates, so they probably want to build that fucking secondary pretty well. I don't see them trading up either. Falcons won't trade up. Chicago Bears need a defensive line, edge, an offensive tackle. D-line's gone. I could see them kind of maybe getting Bijan Robinson as a running back to pair with Fields to make it like a crazy dynamic offense. But I don't see them trading. Eagles, same thing. Safety, running back. But they signed Rashad Penny, so I don't know how badly they really want. What happens with the Derrick Henry trade? If that happens, are they going to trade with Derrick to get Derrick Henry? So I don't think the Eagles would trade that. Tennessee Titans, again, would be the only option I see that possibly just shocks the world and gets a quarterback. So right now, that would be the only thing I could think about. Or the Texans just go crazy and move up even more where they're at. But after that, I don't see it. So I'm gonna go on a whim here and say that the Lions just go safe with a corner at pick 6. I'm gonna say they're gonna go with they got Cam Sutton, Manuel Mosley. Devin Witherspoon's more of the raw talent, aggressive player, and then Christian Gonzalez is more of the all-arounder. I'm gonna stick with my first pick. The last time we did a draft, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Devin Witherspoon. I did say that last time, and I'm still thinking that it will be Devin. I think they're gonna view him more as a Dan Campbell type of corner. Something just tells me it's like the confidence versus Christian Gonzalez. I'm not saying Christian Gonzalez ain't good. Just saying that's how I see it. Now, Paris Johnson's still there. Raiders at 7. I almost guarantee it's going to be a tackle. And apparently, Paris Johnson's got a lot of hype around him. I think last time I picked Broderick Jones, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say they're going with Paris Johnson. They're just going to go with what they believe is the best tackle to pair with Jimmy Garoppolo. No shopping that pick either. Then the Falcons are on the clock. I'm looking down more at the list now to see who would probably trade up a little more, and I'm still not seeing anybody. Maybe Washington. The last time we said Washington stayed there and got Christian. I did say the Falcons last time got Myles Murphy. I don't see Myles Murphy staying there at that high level here in terms of the rating versus somebody like Lucas Van Ness. Nolan Smith. I just don't see. I don't see the Falcons possibly going. It's possible though. They do need edge more than anything. I'm gonna say they do go edge actually. Now that I think about it, because your secondary is looking pretty good. You could probably pick up some depth inside the later. I'm gonna say they go with Nolan Smith. I'm gonna say on a wild card they go with Nolan Smith because of the IQ and everything, and obviously Georgia too. Like that's a pretty big dream scenario there. Might fit pretty well with the scheme. Let's say Nolan. Let's say he's rising up the draft boards anyway. So now we got the Bears. The Bears, like I said, I don't see people really shopping, except for somebody that wants a running back. Maybe to get Bijan Robinson because the Eagles. Because they were saying the Falcons were going to get Bijan Robinson. Falcons going after Bijan Robinson. You know, more than what they. I think Nolan Smith is probably the more like obvious pick for them. The Bears have an option to trade. And you got to remember, this draft is probably the weirdest it's ever been. So there's very weird possibilities. Really thinking here. Really trying to picture crazy scenarios that come up. The Titans will not move up because I think Derrick Henry is going to be part of a trade package somewhere. How? Maybe the Eagles at pick 30. Maybe the Bengals even. I would hope not the Bengals. Fuck the Bengals. Not a Bengals fan. Fucking don't like them. CJ Stroud is still on the board too, so like do the Titans just wait it out and get one of the quarterbacks? I think so, personally. I don't see anybody else trading up for a quarterback. I think the Texans will kind of just but then again, even the Texans, I feel like the Texans might just sit out on a quarterback for a year. Then maybe next year might get somebody valuable, or I don't know. You never know. But as far as I'm seeing right now, I'm gonna say the Bears. At least we're focused on the Bears right now. I don't think Bears trade. Bill Belichick might trade up, might make a spectacular trade up. But what would the Eagles take from the Eagles or the Titans or the Texans or the Packers? A wide receiver. Do we think Jackson Smith-Njigba is a top 10 wide receiver? Do we think that they value Jackson Smith? I don't think so. Knowing Bill Belichick, I don't. Not to trade up. He usually trades back, I believe, not trade up. I'm going to go on a whim here and say that the Bears don't get a shop value. I'm going to say that they go after. Okay. No. Fucking, I didn't click on that shit. I'm going to say that the Bears go offensive tackle here. And I'm going to say they're going to go with Peter Skoronski. I think they're going to play it safe and get a good offensive tackle that fits more of the scheme with having Justin Fields. Pretty good fit, too. Then you got the Eagles. Eagles need running back. Bijan Robinson's there. A player like Bijan Robinson, you don't pass up. I'm going to say the Eagles, with the way that they're kind of set up right now, it would fucking be amazing to have a player like Bijan Robinson. I'm going to say Bijan Robinson goes. As much as I really don't want that to happen, because Bijan Robinson on the Eagles makes just the Eagles' offense even that much more dynamic, which that's why I really think that's what they're going for, because these are like luxury picks for them. They're already pretty stacked. I just think they're going to view Bijan Robinson as big value there. Now, again, you had highly touted CJ Stroud and big prospect Anthony Richardson on the clock. On the board with the Titans on the clock. Titans do need a quarterback, but can we see what they have? Let's just propose a trade, okay? Just to see what they have. I'm just gonna bullshit, right? They have pick 41. So we're talking pick 41 is what? 10 more picks outside of the the first round, right? So 32, well, technically not, 32 to 41. So they have 9 picks outside the first round. Do they trade down, get some value, especially because the quarterbacks are still... And we all know, oh, well, their division rival, the Texans, are... I don't think that we will trade out of this because of that alone. I think they're going to get quarterback. I think it's going to be CJ Stroud. And the reason why I think it's going to be CJ Stroud is because I think he's going to sit behind Ryan Tannehill. I think they kind of are going to go on a gamble here. Let him sit behind Ryan Tannehill for a year, see what happens. Or if Ryan Tannehill just sucks really bad, just throw him in the fire, see what they got in CJ. My last mock draft had them, I think, trading back up into the first, and they got Hendon. And Hendon Hooker had a pretty low cognitive test, I guess what they kind of test. I don't know what that is. Reaction test, kind of, sort of. And both Stroud and Hooker scored poorly. But I guess they said that it was not a good test, and Stroud took another. I think that would drop CJ. And obviously, gave. But also, would say that with Hendon Hooker. But Hendon Hooker's in. So I feel like he's going to drop for that alone, because he's going to be sitting for a while to heal. Anthony Richardson's still on the board. Texans are wild. D'Amico Ryans are wild. Will Anderson, they got Will Anderson. I think they're going to get Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson goes to the Texans, pick 12, and they're just going to fucking roll the dice and see what happens. And guess what? Worst case scenario, draft a quarterback next year. I think that's how they're going to look at it. It's going to be pretty wild if that's what happens. But you can't let Anthony Richardson go past 12 if CJ Stroud goes at, because at that point, Texans, you're literally just going to either not get anybody to play for quarterback for you besides Davis Mills, maybe, if he's even there still. I don't even know if he's still there. Or you're just kind of like, you're going to have to just gamble on a player in the depths, Packers traded Aaron Rodgers away. So now it's Jordan Love. And Jordan Love needs a wide receiver. See what the Packers are saying on here now. Packers do need a wide receiver. They need a tight end too. Now, they lost Robert Tonyan. I did not know that. I mean, I did know that after, a couple days ago, but I forgot about that in the last draft. I didn't think about it. Now I know they need a tight end. They're not going to trade this value out because there is some pretty decent depth at tight end. So I feel like they do stick around with wide receiver. I think the first wide receiver is obviously going to be Jackson Smith. I think, as much as it's a slap in the face to Brett Favre, Brett Favre? What the fuck? It was a slap in the face to Aaron Rodgers, because they never drafted a wide receiver in the first round for Aaron Rodgers. I think now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, and he wanted out, and they just said, fuck it, we'll give it to you. Obviously, because they had Jordan Love too. Now is the time to draft a first round wide receiver. Kind of slap in the face for Rodgers, but it's fine. It's cool. Because guess what? Now Jordan Love's got an extra weapon, and Rodgers is out of town. So I truly think that's what's going to happen. Patriots are on the clock. Christian Gonzalez is on the board still again. So I guess the same pattern is happening, right? They don't need a corner. They like best available player, but O-line is kind of important. They need a tight end, according to them. I mean, I don't know. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster. They do not really need a wide receiver, in my opinion, in terms of first-round wide receiver. I really don't know their wide receiver depth too well, but I don't think they need a first-round wide receiver. I think I'm going to say they get Broderick Jones, just based off the best tackle available, and they shore up that O-line. That is crazy, Novanicki, but we'll talk about that in a second. You're crazy. You're wild. The Jets are on the clock now, and the Jets are pick 15. It's a big toss-up here because the Jets are not trading this either. I don't believe they will. They're not trading this either. They need offensive guard, offensive tackle, tight end. I don't know. They signed an Allen Lazard. It says they need offensive guard. I think they would go offensive. But at pick 15, it's pretty high to pick for Cyrus Torrance. And apparently he's like the highest rated guard yet. But you need something for Aaron Rodgers. Darnell Wright's there. They rated Cody Mock higher now. I see that's changed. But DeJuan Jones, Con Harrison, Darnell Wright. I'm gonna say they just grab Darnell Wright just to protect Aaron. Aaron Rodgers got weapons. Is what it is. So Washington Commanders, and I guess it literally came down to this again. They need a corner. I'm gonna say Washington gets Christian Gonzalez. I mean, you can't just skip him out on him anymore. You know, it's wild that it went this far, but Gonzalez. Then you got the Steelers on the clock. I don't see anybody trading up with the Steelers. The Seahawks, maybe. The last time we did, we had a trade with the Jets, and now I see after that trade, obviously I don't all. Pick 17 Steelers. They need offensive tackle corner. I don't think they're gonna get. Oh, Joey Porter Jr.'s there. I think they go Joey Porter. If Joey Porter Jr.'s there, they're going Joey Porter. No trading that. Lions on the clock again. They need a tight end, corner, defensive line, offensive guard. I think they need tight end more than anything. Last time we said they got Michael Mayer, I believe. Lucas Van Ness is still on the clock too. On the board. I keep saying on the board. Lucas Van Ness is still there. You pair that with fucking Aiden Hutchinson? Not seeing a whole lot of trades happening here. I don't see anybody trading up. Got everyone. Seahawks need a tight end too, apparently. Baltimore, I don't think that. In Baltimore, I almost guarantee it. Dallas Cowboys trade. Giants trade up above the Vikings. I can see that. Maybe with the Ravens. Chargers. No. Bucks won't pick up a one. Bills won't. How bad do the Bills want to? I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody. I'm gonna just say no trades yet. Wow. I think there's more no trades till the Ravens pick almost. Maybe. Okay, so Lions, I think they're not going to trade it. They need a player. They need a tight end corner. Like I said, they already got their corner in Devin Witherspoon. At this point, you're building around the defense. Maybe they go after offense. I'm gonna say they go after offense. I'm gonna say that we said not Miles Murphy. We said Michael Mayer last time, right? I can see it. There you go. Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer. It's a toss-up between these two, Dalton Kincaid and Michael Mayer. Darnell Washington's there too, but I just don't see Darnell Washington first-round draft pick. Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid I can. I think they're going to go, instead of me choosing Michael Mayer from last time, I'm going to say they go Dalton Kincaid. And that's because people have been saying Dalton Kincaid's like another Travis Kelce. And I don't believe it at all. Obviously, I don't. But maybe you can't really skip out. If you have the option, you don't skip out. Option like that. So they're probably going to check out Dalton can get him at tight end. It's I still think it might be Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid. Whoever. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, I don't see them shopping this pick either. Miles Murphy's still on the board. They don't need. Brian Branch is there. They do need safety. Elijah Cansey's still there too. He's falling big time. I'm gonna say they get. It's not really much changing for me, honestly. It feels exactly the options that I'm choosing from last. Anton Harrison is there. DeJuan Jones is there to stop this. They view. Seahawks want. The Seahawks want tight end. I don't know. I could see the Seahawks getting somebody like Darnell Washington. That's why I don't fuck that. Maybe the Seahawks feared about a wide receiver. The Seahawks were talking about Zay Flowers a lot in the slot. Heard that. Would want Zay Flowers more though. Vikings? I feel like the Vikings pick up the best available wide receiver, no matter who it is. I don't think they would trade value for that. I'm gonna go out on a whim here and say that the Bucks get Brian Branch. I think it's just kind of more pressing. Obviously, a Baker Mayfield there too. It could have been an option for that, but it's gonna go more important. Then you got the Seahawks on the clock now. Again, Seahawks. Who they signed in the beginning? We signed them with Jalen Carter. They got their D line. They get a corner here. They could also get that wide receiver, Zay Flowers. Quentin Johnston's still there too. Jordan Addison's still there. I'm gonna say Jordan Addison's there. No USC with fucking Pete Carroll. I'm gonna say Jordan Addison. I'm gonna say they go in and get Jordan Addison. Strength wide receiver type of player that fits the mold of Pete Carroll. I know it's not necessarily a pressing need, but they get depth. And he's very solid all around. Now you got pick 21, Chargers. Now, Chargers are rumored to trade Austin Eckler. I feel like if Austin Eckler's package out of these teams, Bengals is getting him though. Eagles is an option. Bills is technically an option. Cowboys is technically an option. These three teams right here are technically all options to trade up. But who would fear? Well, if they get Austin Eckler in a trade, who would they worry about Vikings. Vikings need a cornerback, wide receiver. Then again, the Ravens could trade. I could see the Chargers trading though. You know what? I'm gonna say the Chargers do trade because I do think that Austin Eckler wanting out could be a big deal. I could see it being maybe somebody like the Bengals. But who would the Bengals get? I know exactly who the. Yeah, actually, I fucking really see what the Bengals would get. Okay, so Bengals, they lost the tight end that they want, so they're gonna go after the tight end that they need, right? So the Bengals will trade with swap picks. Bengals will throw in even no, throw in a first next year. Pretty high trade up tight end. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say they trade up first round, second, third. Austin Eckler in that trade value, and then they trade. Uh, uh, actually, you know what? No. Try to make this a little realistic. Obviously, we might have to hypothetically do it because it's. Anyways, the Bengals trade pick 28. Do we have the reverse order? I think it's 21, pick 28. Austin Eckler's part of the package. And then. Ooh. Tyler Boyd? I could see that happening because the Chargers do like wide receivers. So Tyler Boyd. And then you get swap second round picks. And then Bengals will give an extra third and fifth for a second and a fourth for next year. Yes. Something like that. I feel like that is very possible. Because now that I see that, like Tyler Boyd, you swap picks, you get Austin Eckler, you got your running back now. Not bad. And it's pretty good value. So I won't let me pick a player. Okay, pick 21, the Bengals. So the Bengals trade up. They get Austin Eckler on top of it. So this is a pretty big package deal, right? I'm gonna say they fucking go after what is their pressing need right now? Offensive tackle, offensive guard, defensive lineman. So who is our offensive tackles we're looking at? Anton Harrison. That's a big option. However, they need tight end pretty bad. So I'm gonna say they go Michael Mayer instead, because Michael Mayer is a very big deal. And I think that it's because they're keeping an eye out over, say, like the Cowboys. Cowboys might want a player that's value. They get Austin Eckler and they get Michael Mayer. They build around that offense. And he's an all-arounder. It kind of makes sense. It might fit the mold. Now, Ravens on the clock. Ravens clear as day trading this pick away. So, the Ravens trade with I want to say the Ravens, which is my team, by the way. Ravens trade somebody. Trade with somebody. I don't think they trade out of the first. But I do think they trade down. Get some trade, because they need trade. This will be just a simple trade, I'm sure. New Orleans Saints need some weapons. A lot of weapons. Lucas Van Ness is still there. To the Cowboys. Really the Giants. Not really the Jags. Not really the Vikings. Do we think the Saints value corner pretty bad? Miles Murphy's still there. But who do you think is going to take Miles Murphy if he keeps dropping like this? Lucas Van Ness is dropping too. Who do you think is going to take Lucas Van Ness? They lost Marcus Davenport. The Saints, maybe? I could see the Saints making it. The Bills, I could also see trading up. I just don't see for who, though. Maybe a corner. A corner that maybe Jacksonville's looking at. Cam Smith's fallen. Keely Ringo's fallen. Quentin Johnson. I've been saying Quentin Johnson. The Bills. Not the Bills, no, not the saying that the Giants need a wide receiver. Do the Giants trade up for a wide receiver? You know what? I'm going to say Eagles got traded. The Eagles win with this. Let's trade up from pick 30. I just feel like if they're going to shop at, I think it's either the Cowboys. Either the Cowboys, Saints, or the Eagles. Maybe the Bills. Those are the 4 teams. Now, here's the thing. The Ravens have 5 picks. And if I know the Ravens, they like stacking picks. So I feel like I'm predicting the fact that Ravens will pretty much trade down for value. I do not think they will trade out of the first. This is one of the most intriguing picks because I truly believe one of these 4 teams, Eagles, Saints, the Bills, or the Cowboys, are going to trade. One of those 4. Maybe even the Giants. My question is, who are the Vikings and the Jaguars looking? That's the hardest one to believe. Who are the Vikings and the Jaguars? The only thing I say is the Jacksonville Jaguars might be looking at a corner that somebody. The Minnesota Vikings might be looking at a corner somebody. Vikings are looking at a wide receiver possibly too. Offensive guard is still there. Does any of these teams need an offensive guard? The Dallas Cowboys. Okay. I'm almost guaranteeing now that the Cowboys are going to move up for almost guaranteed. Because of how bad the need is for guard. And there's only one guard on the board that's really worth in an earlier pick. It could be a reach, but knowing the Cowboys and their O-line, they want depth, they want a guard. I'm going to say they swap. And on top of that, they're probably going to throw on pick 58. And then maybe a second next year. Why the hell is Rashad Bateman on? You really think they're going to trade Rashad Bateman? They need a wide receiver. They ain't going to trade him. You're out of your damn mind. They need one more, though. They need one more value pick here. I'm going to say they're going to give him like a 7th. Fuck it. Okay. We're going to have trade issues. All right. That's great. Let's try it reverse. 6 for pick 20. Great. Pick 58. Second, a 4th, and a 6. There you go. That made more sense. I mean, I'm not going to say that's how accurate it is, but it's going to be something similar if it happens. I truly believe your Cowboys, you need a guard really bad. There's only one guard really worth the value up higher, and it's not even really worth higher, but again, sometimes you got to reach. And if they're seeing a lot of teams that want guard, they're going to go after the guard, which is probably their most important need right now. O'Cyrus Torrence. I could see it happening. He's the highest rated guard in the draft. Makes sense. I could see them going after O'Cyrus Torrence. Now, I know Michael Mayer for the Bengals is a big deal. O'Cyrus Torrence could be a big deal for the Bengals, too, for O-line. But you got to remember that the Bengals, just because they want to protect Joe Burrow, and it's one of their biggest needs, too, Michael Mayer is a blocking tight end as well, so that does help Joe Burrow. Build game plan around the wide receiver. Probably fucking perfect for them. So it makes sense. I'm saying all this really pretty much makes sense for the most part. Now, the Vikings are on the clock. Now, the Vikings do have Quentin Johnston there. They have Dave Flowers. I don't see Josh Downs being a guy up that high, or Jalen Hyatt. Quentin Johnston's there. Much as I would love for them to take Quentin Johnston, might take Zay Flowers instead. See what they need though. And the Vikings need a corner more than anything. And you still got Deonte Banks there. You got Miles Murphy there. You got Lucas Van Ness there. You got some fucking value. Keely Ringo. I'm going to say they value a little bit more on the corner of a pressing need. I'm going to say they go after... more of an all-arounder. I'm going to say they go with Keely Ringo. Just because Deonte Banks is probably rated higher, but Keely Ringo probably fits it all. Now, you got Jacksonville Jaguars. They need a corner as well. Deonte Banks, we did that last time. Deonte Banks is there. They really don't need edge too bad, but Lucas Van Ness is there. It could be a shot value pick. I'm going to say they go with more pressing need with corner. They're going to go Deonte. Now, Giants, they need a corner. They miss out on a corner. They trade up, so all the corners are being taken right now. Cam Smith is there. It's a pretty good fit for them too. I could see them going after Cam Smith. It says they need wide receiver. Actually, you know what? I think they go after Quentin. I almost guarantee they got corners in pressing need, but they probably find it in a second. Now the Ravens back on the clock, and again, Ravens played it out really well because now that I see this, now you get your man. I think they go after Zay Flowers for the slot receiver. They need corner, but corners are dropping like flies, and they find depth in the defense in the later rounds anyway. So I'm gonna say they go Zay Flowers. They really like Zay Flowers. He drops. Pick 27. Now you got the Bills on the clock. Lucas Van Ness is still there. Probably one of the craziest deals. Lucas Van Ness is still there. They need guard and center. Guard's pretty much gone. Miles Murphy's still there. Kalijah Kancey's still there. They do need D-line. I'm going to say they go with Kalijah Kancey. They get their fucking defensive player there. You can't let them drop anymore. And they do need D-line. Not too badly, but that's just depth for them. Chargers on the clock. Chargers need D-line. They probably missed out on Kalijah Kancey. They probably thought, and I didn't think about that, but that's fine because as much as they probably need, a defensive lineman, fine. They didn't get him, but it happens. Brian Bressy's still on the clock too, or on the board. I keep saying terrible. This would be a terrible video, but fuck it. on the clock, on the board. Anton Harrison's still there. They do need offensive tackle. Depth. Do they view Bressy more than Harrison? I'm gonna say they do. I'm gonna say they take Brian Bressy. They do need defensive tackle. Saints are on the clock now. I think the trades are pretty much done here, except possibly the last two picks. It all just depends. Picks is a big. The Saints need linebacker, D-line, edge. Lucas Van Ness is there. There's a lot of value in that. A lot of people raise my. I'm gonna say they do get him. Lucas Van Ness. They do need edge. Up that edge. Now the Eagles are on the clock. They need safety. They need running back. They need defensive tackle and edge. They got their running back. Defensive tackle is kind of a toss up. Linebacker Trenton Simpson is there. The player pretty. Because again, you could always see a team trading up in the first to get a player. I'm gonna say for a tackle. None of these teams are sitting. Besides the Niners, I don't see the Niners trading up for a tackle. Chiefs would get attacked. Yes, the Chiefs would absolutely. The Eagles need defensive tackle or edge. Got Bijan Robinson running back in. I'm gonna say they go after. I'm gonna say both teams don't trade. Well, no, you know what? For the sake of this being as crazy of a draft as it is, I'm gonna say the Eagles are the ones that trade out. And who do they trade with? Miles Murphy's still there. DeJuan Jones is still there. So you got options. Cam Smith's still there. The Broncos could trade back. Knowing Sean Payton, too, he would like to make a splash. I'm going to say they do trade up, but what do they? Oh, never mind. I don't think the Broncos are trading jack shit. I forgot that they don't have trade value. What about the Niners? Anton Harrison to the Niners? Oh my god, the Niners had. Well, they have a lot of. Damn, they have a lot of fuck. Holy shit. The Eagles do. But the Eagles do need. Okay. So we know the Eagles will trade this out for value. At this point, I'm sure they'll trade for some. D-line. I just don't see it that. Can the Titans trade back? Lions get it. I don't also see the Miami Dolphins either. This one's a very hard pick. The Browns. I don't Browns either. One has trade value. Rams are technically. But I know for a fact the Eagles top at least pick 30 to get more. I know they will. I know they will. Just a little bit more. I want to say it's with the Niners. The Niners have a lot. Maybe Niners gamble, huh? Maybe Niners gamble their first next year. They'll drop pick 99, but they'll drop their pick that next year. They'll probably throw in 101 on top of it. And then a third next year. Because they have fucking 4 third-round picks next year. We'll say they'll do... yeah, we'll say they drop some picks. We'll say they'll drop fucking this right here. Let's see. Oh, come on. Okay, let's try to reverse order. So stupid. Yeah, see? It's always reversed order. So it's stupid. Okay, so now I know. So the 49ers trade up. Okay. 49ers want to get in on this action. Now, before I choose somebody, I want to really think about who they could choose. Because you have to be pretty confident, especially if you're going to be competing against, teams to get to win the NFC. You got to really think about what you need. Now, the clear cut answer is protect Brock Purdy as much as possible. They lost edge players, but they got pretty good depth anyways. Really need offensive tackle, offensive guard, safety. Anton Harrison would be the smartest. Or DeJuan Jones, but I think Anton Harrison would be. Not a safety. Miles Murphy's dropping like a fucking sack of shit. I don't know why he'd be dropping so much. I think that's normal anyways in everyone's draft now as he's dropping. I'm gonna just say Anton Harrison. Because, okay, and it makes sense because if you think about it, if Anton Harrison doesn't go to the Niners, he's going to the fucking Chiefs. I'm gonna say they go. Now, Chiefs. We can make this even more interesting and see if the Chiefs trade out. Chiefs need edge. And Miles Murphy's on the board. Fuck, is this a home run round 1 draft right here? This is practically a home run mock draft for round 1. I'm almost certain of it. I'm going to say they do it. I'm going to say they go Miles Murphy. Drops to them. It was either Anton Harrison, which they probably viewed more, and then obviously Miles Murphy. Boom. Done. Now, where's my full result? Why does it show it on the edge? I apologize. Let's see if I can center it. There's zoom. Zoom. There we go. Okay. There you have it. Bryce Young. Razor. All right, Bryce Young, pick number 1. I still think nobody bites the bullet on the Will Levis debacle of him going to the Panthers, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, Panthers chose me. Let's celebrate." No, not happening. I think it's a smoke and mirrors tactic. I'm biting my tongue on that one because I don't really know, but I'm assuming Bryce Young, Carolina. Pick 2, Will Anderson. I think Texans with DeMeco Ryans viewing defense more important. Pick number 3, Tyree Wilson. Again, you lose J.J. Watt. Got to kind of keep that defense somewhat stable. You're not in rebuild yet because you got Kyler Murray. You got that offense. You're technically still kind of holding up. Pick 4, Will Levis. Colts need a quarterback. And I think Will Levis is more of a sure bet than Stroud with all happening. Confident as fuck, so that's pretty good. I think they kind of like that. Indianapolis. Pick number 5, Jalen Carter. Now, I did say in the last mock draft that Seahawks would go after Anthony Richardson to sit behind Geno Smith, but you also got to remember, too, let's just say Geno Smith fucking sucks next. Then the Seahawks have an option to possibly be getting someone Drake May in the draft. I think that sounds just as much plausible as they go after Anthony Richardson, so I'm going to say they just stick to this best available. Ball's out again. Pick 6. Lions get Devin Witherspoon. Just fits more of a Dan Campbell type of player. And that's really the big choice there. And they really need a corner. Paris Johnson to the Raiders. Again, you just got Jimmy Garoppolo. You might as well, especially in that division, you might as well see if... Because he has gone to the Super Bowl before. He has gone to the Super Bowl as a 49er. So maybe, just maybe he's going to give you a run for the money too in Oakland. In Oakland. Fuck. In Las Vegas. So, yes, best of tackle off the board. Pretty smart choice. Falcons get Nolan Smith. Again, Georgia guy. You know, he's been rising up the boards because of his IQ. I think Falcons go. Bears at pick 9. Peter Skoronski, again, building around Justin Fields. He had a pretty decent end of the season. So, yeah, might as well. What else he's got? He's got protection now. Pick 10, luxury pick for the Eagles, but they do need a running back. You can't get a once-in-a-generational type of running back like Bijan Robinson, at least the way he's rated at the moment, so obviously you go out. Pick 11, CJ Stroud drops to pick 11, outside the top 10. I can see that very much happening, and again, when you look at the Titans, it's kind of like, who's the more quarterback-ready quarterback, just in case Ryan Tannehill fails. CJ Stroud will be that person. They could very well go Anthony Richardson here as well, but CJ Stroud with way he plays and everything. He's definitely much better than Anthony Richardson right off the bat, at least by the look of it. So probably get something that's like more of a sure bet, especially in that division. There's a possibility you can win it if Ryan starts failing miserably. Just those Texans go with the gamble just as much as they're going with the gamble on pretty much every time they take a pick. But Anthony Richardson, that type of talent might shine really well in fucking Houston. Might actually, prove possible. And again, DeMeco Ryans, he might make something out of this quarterback. You never fucking know. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Packers. Again, it's a big slap of face to Aaron Rodgers, but guess what? No? Yeah, Jordan Love needs weapons, and he only got 1 year to prove it, so build around it. Roderick Jones, offensive tackle to the Patriots. Again, pretty much just best available tackle at that point. And obviously, pressing need. Maybe Mac Jones balls out. I don't know. Or is it Mac Jones now? Or is it fucking Bailey Zappi? Bailey Zappi? Or whatever the fuck. Zappy. Darnell Wright to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet. Protect Aaron Rodgers. Simple as that. And again, you're just stouting out that offense because you really need to. When you have to have this fucking Aaron Rodgers experiment work in 2 years, you might as well have a tackle that's highly rated. Christian Gonzalez falls to the Redskins. Christian Gonzalez falls to the Commanders. I don't know how it happened again. I really didn't want it to because he's very, very good. But it just kind of makes sense if he falls because of those. Like, every team right there has a reason why they're doing it. Christian Gonzalez is kind of like a no-brainer, but they do need a corner too. So makes sense, and it's a pretty good fit for the most part as well. And then obviously, I think if Steelers got Christian Gonzalez, they would have went after Christian Gonzalez instead. But Joey Porter Jr., son of, the original Porter Sr., who's a former Steeler as well. Now he's joining his dad's former team. Dalton Kincaid to the Lions again. I think it's because they need a tight end really bad. I could see them going Michael Mayer here, but Dalton Kincaid, again, they bite on the hype. At least Dan Campbell, knowing Dan Campbell, he bites on the hype of maybe he's like a Travis Kelce. Can't pass that up, especially for Jared Goff. He's a weapon. Brian Branch to the Bucks. Again, I had them choosing that last time, I believe, in the last mock draft I made. Yeah, it's a need, a pressing need. And again, right alongside Winfield. Oh yeah, you got yourself a little ball hawking secondary. Very, very good, safe pick there for them. Jordan Addison to the Seahawks. Again, a USC guy. I feel like it just fits more. It's not a pressing need, but it fits a strength. And another weapon for Geno Smith, but it fits the all-arounder role that he could take. It'd probably surpass after fucking Tyler Lockett leaves, if Tyler Lockett's bound to leave soon. Jordan Addison can fit that next. Plus, again, Pete Carroll, USC. That was the big selling point. Michael Mayer to the Bengals after a trade. Again, you trade up, you get your fucking tight end to protect Joe Burrow, but also be a pass catching option as well. After they lost Hayden Hurst, and Hayden Hurst was a pretty good first rounder. But now he's on the Panthers, so this is your replacement for him. And yeah, it's a big pick, really, it really is. Cowboys move up. Now, I know Osiris Torrance ain't the nicest pick, but again, O-line is very important, and if they trade up, it's because one of these three teams is most likely going to be picking a guard if they don't have it. Because obviously guard is kind of a scarcity in this draft, so they get the best available guard, period. And it's worth it for them because they know they pass up some teams that could have used. The Vikings, Kelee Ringo. I know Kelee Ringo was falling off boards for a little bit. Not too bad, but just a little bit. And it fits more of the style that I believe that the Vikings would have. Again, I could see the Vikings drafting another wide receiver, like Jalen Hyatt or something. Get some value there if they're really shopping it. The Jaguars get Deonte Banks. I think I did that last draft too, that they had Deonte Banks as well. It's just kind of like the safest pick for them, but they need defense. Trevor Lawrence is balling out, but I think that they could probably address or any kind of offensive in the later round. But right now, like, the most pressing need was corner, so Deonte Banks. I'm pretty sure they would have settled with Kelee Ringo too, but Deonte Banks is a pretty good pick there. Number 25, Quentin Johnston to the Giants. Now, this one's more or less like, you need a wide receiver. Daniel Jones did pretty good last year, and you need a guy that can catch balls really, really well, especially if Daniel Jones don't. I don't think they really need a slot wide receiver too bad, so I think that's what Quentin Johnston's a more hands guy. Kind of need somebody. Now, the Ravens they're really smart with drafting, and this is why I think they kind of know how this is going to play out a little bit. They've already studied players from before. That's why I feel like a trade is very possible to get more draft picks. Plus, they also get to get the receiver that they want, which is Zay Flowers. The reason why is because you got Odell Beckham. He's probably your number 1 wide receiver at this point. You pay him that money, he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver. And then your number 2 wide receiver is Rashad Bateman. And Rashad Bateman is a solid number 2 easily, if not a number 1. He's not the best, but he could be a number 1 wide receiver. He's like a proven good wide receiver. It's just he's injury prone. So Nelson Aguilar is good depth. And not saying he's a good wide receiver. He's got a lot of memes around him, but just saying he's good depth. He's good to have as a backup if you need a backup. Zay Flowers and Devin Duvernay as backups / slot wide receivers. Holy fucking shit. That's big. So yeah, Zay Flowers in the slot, probably be a starting slot over Devin Duvernay. Duvernay will be special teams, or vice versa. But they really like Zay Flowers. I've seen it, talked about it quite a bit. Zay Flowers is a very big possibility in the slot. I think they will go after them for sure, and it'd be a solid pick. Bills at pick 27, Khalid Kancey. By the way, I'll read your comment in a second, and I'll explain my opinion in a little bit. But I'm just going to finish this off. Khalid Kancey to the Bills. Best available defensive tackle. They say he's going to go higher, but you know, I don't see a team really looking at Khalid Kancey that bad, except for the Chargers. But again, Chargers traded out, so they probably thought Khalid Kancey was going to drop. The Bills got Khalid Kancey and build that defense more stout. Chargers, like I said, Chargers didn't get their player, but Brian Bressy's still there, and Brian Bressy's still solid defensive lineman. So there you go. You got your D tackle there. Saints, Lucas Van Ness. Again, I really don't know how Lucas Van Ness dropped this much in my draft, but he did. And I mean, because obviously everything kind of has a reason behind it. But I say Lucas Van Ness to the Saints, and that's a very, very safe edge pick for the Saints. The 49ers trade back up with the Eagles, and they go after offensive tackle Anton Harrison, because obviously I think the biggest thing is they have a shit ton of picks. They probably just throw the farm for him. That way they get a solid offensive tackle to protect, obviously, what happened with Brock Purdy getting hurt. Protect Brock Purdy. And obviously they probably view the Chiefs as getting Anton Harrison. So, good pick. And last but not least, who fell the most? Like we said, that was happening in drafts. Myles Murphy, and perfect dropped to the Chiefs that they need him. So, and that is it. So that'll be the YouTube video. Anyways, cool, whatever. Right? And video scene. But anyways, okay, so back to your comment. But not